I'm joined by head men's and women's cross country coach Michael Dunn. Coach, you guys are approaching your UMAC championships this weekend that you guys will be hosting. We'll just kind of run through both sides. Let's just touch base on kind of how things have been going so far.
Yeah, honestly, like this year, we had a lot of big races on our schedule. We expected our team to be healthy, coming in, ready to roll from the summer. Um, and obviously, like in a season, things can happen that you don't expect. And so there were some cases where throughout the year here where we've been pretty banged up as a program, as a team. But I think just in general, we're starting to get healthy when you need to. And, we haven't been seeing a lot of the conference schools week in and week out. We kind of made it that way, so we're able to get into some of these big races and compete against teams that we don't always see. That's really good competition for you. But at the end of the day, I think for the most part, we saw quite a few of the teams at Eau Claire that were there, but it wasn't, it wasn't everybody that was competing there at the same time in the same races. Same thing at lacrosse. We saw a couple of not quite a handful of teams there, but like from our conference. So it's been hit or miss on teams this year that we've been able to compete against and see. But also knowing throughout this season that we've had our ups and downs like anybody else in any other program. Just knowing that we're hoping by the time we get to the end of the season that we're as healthy as we can be, and I think we're headed in that direction for sure.
Yeah, we'll touch base first on this weekend's race. We'll start with the men's side. Kind of just talk me through what you've seen from them. Obviously, lost a few all-conference performers last year, but brought in a few freshmen who have really stepped up big and ran some good times early on. Kind of just talk me through what you're expecting from them on Saturday.
Yeah, I think this year, it was pretty eye-opening for a lot of them too to know like, okay, we're getting into an AK, like you said. Our guys team, although small, like it is mainly made of freshmen. So, like that being said, we have a group of guys that are really gaining experience meet after meet after meet after meet, and that's something that is invaluable when it comes down to the end of the year, being able to understand what that 8K feels like. And so, as we've been working through that on different challenging courses with a lot of different competition, being able to see those freshmen build through the year and that group build through the year is something that we're excited to, as I said, hopefully see at its healthiest stage, this upcoming weekend for the guys.
And then on the women's side, kind of the opposite story, brought everyone back on a team that did really well at the conference meet last year. What are some aspirations for that group this weekend? Obviously, a little different outlook with an older group of runners.
Yeah, I think this year we had high expectations. They had high expectations, I think, of themselves too. I think one thing that they found pretty early this season was how important like summer running is. And I think at the end of the day, when you come in, no matter how much experience you have, mileage is a big deal. And so they've learned from that, and we've built on that. And you really like the longer that you keep building on that, the closer you're going to get to where your best races can be. And so now that we're removed 2.5-ish months from the start of the season, we've had 2.5 months to be putting that mileage in now. And so we're hoping that in that 2.5 months we can make up for some of the stuff that maybe that group missed in the off season this year. But they're learning a lot too, because a good chunk of that group will be back, and they're learning that okay, we can't have those mishaps. And I think that's part of that growth as a runner as well. Some of these individuals think that, hey, look what we did last year. It should be easy to come back to that. It's not. And I think that's part of that learning process for, anybody and everybody that's a student athlete. But just knowing too that, you keep putting that one foot in front of the other, and you keep building, you keep pushing yourself and your teammates. And I think that women's team knows how to do that for sure. And they've been able to build throughout this season. And again, having throughout this year one or two of our athletes not running at each and every race necessarily, just because of whether it's not feeling right for them. They've been, again, similar to our guys, where maybe just not healthy the entire season. So this is the point again with them as well. That's in a sense similar to the guys. We're hoping that we're at our healthiest this upcoming weekend, and we think we're definitely there in comparison to the rest of the year this year for us. So the women definitely have expectations this weekend of being able to be like, hey, this should be our best race all year. And depending on where that falls within the conference. I think obviously this weekend we'll find out. But it's going to be fun, and the course is going to be a lot of fun, and we're looking forward to being able to have one that we're competing against everybody in the UMAC for sure.
Well, good luck this weekend.
Thanks, Walker.